Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is Tausif. My friends, I'm going to talk about a very serious situation. It's an ongoing situation. This weekend, in particular, um, is going to be extremely. I don't know what the right word is. All I can tell you is this weekend, American citizens are concerned. Freedom loving, law abiding, peace loving American citizens are concerned because of this so called No King's Day protest. And I'm going to talk about it. I did talk about it. I think it was during my previous live stream. And here I am starting a live stream on Friday night, heading into the weekend. This is Friday night where I am. If you're in the Eastern time zone, it's already the weekend. Okay. In the Central time zone, I'm 2 minutes away from midnight here. Okay. 2 minutes away from midnight. So we are about to enter the weekend, Saturday, June 14th. And it's a beautiful day, June 14th, Flag Day. And American people are waiting to see that amazing parade. Okay, I know it's going to be an amazing parade celebrating the 250th anniversary of the US Army, but my friends, there's something that is making people extremely worried. And that's why there's a state of emergency in an American state. Okay, I'm going to talk about a few different states, but let me talk about this particular American state where there's a state of emergency. And do you know which one I'm talking about? Do you know which state I am talking about? Anyone wants to make a guess? If you need 30 seconds to make a guess, just let me know. I'm gonna do my stopwatch here. All right. 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds. Do you know which state I am talking about? Frank is here, Helena is here, Derek is here, Jell is here. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Jerry is here. State of emergency. All right. Okay, so I'm talking about, give you a few more seconds here. All right. I'm talking about the state of Missouri. State of Missouri. The Missouri governor has declared a state of emergency in anticipation of protests across the state. This protest, this so-called No King's Day protest, it's not going to be taking place in just one place. According to reports, these No King's Day protests are likely going to be taking place across the country. And so there's heightened tension in many states across the US, including Missouri. The question is there going to be unrest? We don't know. When people think of protest, when people think of, when people ask themselves the question, is there going to be unrest? Will there be lawlessness? They think about Los Angeles and they get worried. They think about Minneapolis and they get worried. Remember what happened in Minneapolis. Remember that police precinct on fire. Do you remember that? I know it was years ago, but it was not that long ago. I think most people remember that. And the ongoing situation in Los Angeles. So now, in anticipation of protests across the country, any responsible governor is going to take the steps necessary to keep people and property safe. And that is what the Missouri governor did. The Missouri governor. Governor Mike Kehoe. He's taking the right action. He declared a state of emergency. He activated the state's National Guard. Do you think that it is the right decision? Jet is here. Jet, good to see you. Jaden is here. Hello, Jaden. Tell me. It's an open question. I'm asking you. I know that we have viewers of different viewpoints. I want to hear from you. After seeing what happened in Los Angeles, after seeing what happened in Minneapolis a few years ago, after seeing what happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin a few years ago, now that there are protests planned across the country, what is a responsible governor supposed to do? Anyone who wants to, any governor who wants to make sure that the people and property are safe, what is the governor supposed to do? What Governor Mike Kehoe did is he declared a state of emergency and he activated the state's National Guard. By the way, he's a Republican governor. All right. In case you were wondering, I don't know if anyone asked me, I missed some of the comments. But in case you were about to ask me the question, Tassif, is this governor a Republican or a Democrat? What party is he affiliated with? Well, I'm sure many of you already made the guess. You know, you think of Missouri, red state Republican, Missouri. Governor Mike Kehoe, he's a Republican. So he's being proactive in taking the right steps. Jet is here. Selena is here. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so very much. Make sure you're liking the video, subscribing, and sharing. I know many of you are already subscribers, but if you're not, please subscribe. So Missouri governor, he declared a state of emergency. He activated the state's National Guard. He is being proactive in taking the right steps to make sure that people and property are safe. Now, peaceful protests are allowed. I don't even have to say that. I think everyone understands that. Everyone knows that. If you know anything about the rights that people have, you know that people have the right to peacefully protest. Peacefully, that's the key word. But we have seen how left-wing protests turn into riots, turn into lawlessness, vandalism, looting. We have seen that. And in case you're wondering about an example, you just have to look at Los Angeles. Los Angeles, just review the events of the last 1 week in Los Angeles. All the destruction of property, all the lawlessness, all the vandalism, all the looting, all the graffiti, cars on fire. It was like a war zone. If you have seen the images, if you have seen the video clips of Los Angeles, then you might have thought, hey, this can't be an American city. This is probably a war zone someplace. Have you seen those images? Have you seen those video clips? Did it look like an American city? No, it looked like a complete war zone. A complete war zone. Cars on fire. Vandalism, looting, destruction everywhere. And if President Trump would not have federalized the National Guard troops, and deployed the National Guard troops, if he would not have done that, then the violence would spread even more. There would have been far more damage to property. So, my friends, the Missouri governor, Mike Kehoe, he is taking the right steps. Peaceful protests are allowed. Peaceful protests are allowed. Everyone knows that. That has not changed. But the focus has to be on peaceful. There cannot be vandalism. There cannot be disturbance. There cannot be disorderly conduct. There cannot be any kind of lawlessness. It has to be peaceful. But in Los Angeles, things turned violent. And so, to keep people safe, to ensure the protection of property, a state of emergency should be declared and National Guard should be activated. And that is exactly what Governor Mike Kehoe of Missouri did. You cannot wait for things to get heated. You cannot wait for lawless acts to start before taking action. You got to be proactive. You have to be proactive. And this is I'm talking about governors, elected officials who are responsible for ensuring law and order. They have to be proactive. And so I'm very happy to see the action that Governor Mike Kehoe took of Missouri. Now, there's a mayor in Missouri, in Kansas City. This guy's name is Quinton Lucas. Anyone hear about Quinton Lucas? Did anyone hear about Quinton Lucas? Mayor of Kansas City. What am I going to say about this man? What can I say about this individual, Quinton Lucas? Some of you know who he is, what he stands for, what he believes in, what he says, what his policy preferences are, what his political ideology is. You know Quinton Lucas. But for those who don't know who this man is, I'm going to give you one example. I'm not going to spend a whole hour talking about Quinton Lucas, all right? But I'm going to give you one example of Quinton Lucas. And I've talked about him before on this channel. It was months ago. You're going to have to go back and find that video. You can, or if you don't want to, you don't have to. But I'll give you one example which will tell you what Quinton Lucas stands for, what he believes in. This guy, the mayor of Kansas City, rather than applauding the Missouri governor's decision, this man, Quinton Lucas, expressed concerns regarding the enhanced state enforcement. But why? But why? I'm going to tell you one thing, all right? I talked about an example. I haven't given that example yet. I'm going to share with you an example which will tell you pretty much everything you need to know about this man. Just one example will tell you what kind of mindset this mayor has. Last year, Mayor Quinton Lucas said to the migrants to the illegal immigrants who poured into the United States. Quinton Lucas said to them, to those migrants, he said, "You're welcome here." Yeah, I know. I know you're probably saying, Tassif, what are you talking about? That's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. But that is real. You can go and fact check me. Mayor Quinton Lucas of Kansas City, he said to the illegal immigrants, he said, "You're welcome here." This man said that he would welcome migrants, meaning illegal immigrants, to Kansas City. He wanted to bring migrants to Kansas City to work. This is the kind of mayor that Quinton Lucas is. A mayor who prioritizes illegal immigrants. A mayor whose focus is illegal immigrants. He prioritizes illegal immigrants. He wants illegal immigrants to come to Kansas City and work. What about the Americans? What about the American workers? What about all the American workers looking for work? Why not them? Why not the American workers? Why not the legal immigrants? People who come here legally, why not them? Why the illegals? Why focus on the illegals? Why prioritize the illegals? Why say to the illegals, "Oh, you're welcome here"? This man is not America first. Quinton Lucas, left-wing politician, not America first. So that's Quinton Lucas. And now this mayor is expressing his concerns regarding Governor Mike Kehoe's decision. My friends, this man, Quinton Lucas, is concerned about the governor's decision to activate the National Guard. Now, if you want to know more about a person's politics, if you want to know more about a person, let me tell you that. If you want to know more about a person, try to understand their political ideology. You got to look at their history. You have to look at their past records. You have to look at their past statements. You have to analyze their past actions, and you'll have a pretty clear picture of what kind of a person a politician is. Quinton Lucas, left wing, obvious. There's no doubt about that. Rather than focus on American workers, he wanted to welcome illegal immigrants to Kansas City. My friends, after seeing what happened in Los Angeles, any responsible governor is going to activate the National Guard ahead of time, before this so-called No King's Day protest. No responsible governor is going to allow lawlessness in the state. A responsible governor is going to take the actions necessary to prevent lawlessness. By the way, the Missouri House Minority Leader, who's a Democrat, her name is, I can't pronounce the last name. Its first name is Ashley. Last name is Aune. It's Aune, okay? So I may be mispronouncing. Anyway, so this is the Missouri House Minority Leader, who's a Democrat from Kansas City, I think. She said that Governor Kehoe's preemptive declaration of a state of emergency as Missourians prepare to protest an increasingly authoritarian presidential administration is a blatant attempt to intimidate and suppress First Amendment rights. So that's her quote. That's her quote. Full of lies. That quote. Okay. This administration, the Trump administration, is not authoritarian. No. Authoritarian administrations, authoritarian leaders don't get elected by popular vote. Donald Trump got elected by popular vote, by electoral college vote. Not only Donald Trump, but the Republicans in Washington. They got overwhelming votes from the people of the United States, which is why the Republicans have the House majority and the Senate majority. So this Trump administration is not authoritarian, but the Missouri House minority leader is calling the administration authoritarian. So that's a total lie. And Governor Kehoe's decision to activate the National Guard, it is not meant to intimidate anyone. It is not meant to suppress First Amendment rights. It is just to prevent lawlessness. It is just to ensure safety. It is just to make sure that people and property are protected. But a Democrat is going to lie and conceal the facts and present false information just to score a political point. Okay? Just for a political point. Just for political purposes. Just for their own political agenda, left-wing agenda. And I say, no, no, no. Activating the National Guard is to ensure peace and safety. It is not for the suppression of First Amendment rights. National Guard is going to be there to help, to protect. The Democrats, they are spinning the things the way they want. They take a piece of information and they spin it. By the way, ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU also reportedly condemned the governor's action. The organization called the decision to activate the National Guard an unnecessary provocation. Really? Unnecessary provocation? I don't think so. I completely disagree with that statement. Activating the National Guard is not unnecessary provocation. Having the National Guard activated is a good decision at a time like this, especially when protests are planned all over the country. The National Guard needs to be there to ensure peace. And by the way, Governor Mike Kehoe is not the only one. The governor of Nebraska also activated the National Guard ahead of the scheduled protests. The governor of Nebraska activated the National Guard and also decided to deploy additional state law enforcement. And the governor of Nebraska said that this is a precautionary measure in reaction to recent instances of civil unrest across the country. So I think the governor of Nebraska has taken a very, very reasonable and sensible decision. So I talked about Missouri, I talked about Nebraska. There's another state I want to talk about. Now, does anyone want to make a guess what state I'm going to be talking about now? Do you want to make a guess? Tommy Brown is here. Tommy Brown, good to see you. I'm giving you a few seconds if you want to make a guess what state I'm going to talk about next. Let me know. Let me know. What state do you think I'm going to be talking about next? I'm going to give you 10 seconds and then we'll jump into the discussion. Richard is saying Wisconsin. I will talk about Wisconsin, Richard, but a little later. Tommy Brown says Texas. That is correct. I'm going to be talking about Texas now. Shall we talk about one of the greatest governors in America, Greg Abbott? Do you want to talk about Greg Abbott? Greg Abbott, he is still my favorite governor. Right at this moment, I look at all the governors in all the states, and I say Greg Abbott is my favorite. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. I know a lot of people out there, they like Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is a great governor. No doubt about that. He is awesome. He's a star. Really, he's doing great. But, you got to pick a favorite. Mine's Greg Abbott. Glenn Youngkin is also wonderful. Mine's Greg Abbott. He's my favorite. So, Greg Abbott decided to deploy. Oh my God, the number that I'm going to share with you, you're going to cheer. You're going to be happy. If you are a freedom-loving, law-abiding, peace-loving American, you are going to love when I share with you the number of National Guard troops that Governor Greg Abbott has decided to deploy. More than 5,000. Wow. More than 5,000 National Guard troops that Governor Greg Abbott has decided to deploy across the state in anticipation of the protests. Isn't that an awesome number? I think that is awesome. By the way, my friends, if you are tuning in, please, thank you so much. Please like this video. I appreciate your support. Like this video, hit the like button. That's how you support this channel. People often ask me, Tausif, how can we support your channel? You know what? Very simple. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you have not done so already. And if you've already subscribed, that's it. You don't need to do anything with the subscription. Just stay subscribed, but make sure you're liking the video and you're sharing the video. I would appreciate that very much. So, Governor Greg Abbott has decided to deploy more than 5,000 National Guard troops across the state in anticipation of the protests. And reportedly, on top of that, 2,000 Texas Department of Public Safety troopers would also be deployed. So that is going to be a significant presence. It's all about maintaining peace, my friends. It is all about maintaining peace. By the way, for those who have written a lot of comments and I did not get to read your comments, I apologize. I'm so busy talking today. I have not been able to read all the comments properly. Okay, the live chat window. So it's about maintaining peace, and I appreciate the decision of Governor Greg Abbott. Now, can we talk about Wisconsin? That is my home state. This is where I am right now. If you're watching me and you're wondering, where is this guy speaking from? I am in Madison, Wisconsin. So Wisconsin is my state. And I'm going to talk about Wisconsin now. In Wisconsin, according to reports, many protests have been planned. And I hope that the Wisconsin governor would deploy the National Guard. But you know what? We have a Democrat governor in Wisconsin. A Democrat governor. Is he going to deploy the National Guard? It should be done proactively. As I have said, governors, reasonable individuals, governors, great leaders, those governors with true leadership is going to be proactive in taking action. Okay? But the Wisconsin governor, being a Democrat, is he going to deploy the National Guard? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. And it is sad. I think right now, the governor should activate the National Guard. Okay? In Wisconsin, it is important, but I guess it's not going to happen. Okay? Because there's a Democrat governor in Wisconsin. We need a Republican governor in Wisconsin. A strong Republican governor, that is what we need in America's Dairyland, the Badger State, Wisconsin. We need a bold Republican governor. 2026, that is when the next gubernatorial election is in Wisconsin. And we need a strong Republican governor. Our state, Wisconsin, deserves a strong Republican governor. Nationwide, reportedly more than 1,500 protests have been planned for Saturday, June 14th. And you know what? Right now, we are into Saturday. Here in the Central Time Zone, it is already 12:29 a.m., so it is already Saturday. In the Eastern Time Zone, it is already Saturday. Our friends in the Mountain Time Zone, in the Pacific Time Zone, will soon be catching up. But today, June 14th, more than 1,500 protests have been planned nationwide, including many in Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, people assume that the bigger protests may be taking place in Madison and Milwaukee. So those are the main, big areas with a lot of people and a lot of businesses, a lot of government offices. Madison obviously is the state capital, but Milwaukee is also a very big city. And so people are assuming that the bigger protests will be taking place in Madison and Milwaukee. And so people are worried. People are worried. People are extremely concerned. And that's natural. When Wisconsinites see what happened in Los Angeles, and when they hear that there will be these anti-ICE protests, this No King's Day anti-Trump protest in Madison, in Milwaukee, in other places around the state, when people find out that there's going to be these protests and they think of Los Angeles and they think about how protests turned into chaos and vandalism and looting in Los Angeles, people get worried. People get worried. People get concerned, but because you know what? American people, what do they want? They want peace. They want to go to work. They want to work hard, earn a paycheck, come back home, have a wonderful time with family, spend nice time with your husband or your wife, enjoy time with the kids, go and have a nice lunch or dinner with family outside, go watch a movie, play in the front yard, do some grilling in the backyard. The weather is nice now. People want safety and security. They want to be able to earn money. They want to be able to make ends meet. They want to be able to save money and invest money and build a sound future for themselves and their families. That's what people want. And when people find out that there will be protest and they think of the Los Angeles protests that turned into riots, people get worried, extremely worried. Law-abiding, freedom-loving, peace-loving Americans are very concerned right now. As we wait to find out what exactly this No King's Day protest is going to look like. Unbelievable. No King's Day protest. That's a ridiculous name because it is obvious to everyone that there are no kings in America. There are no dictators in America. There are no monarchs. There's no empire. It's the United States of America. There's no empire. We're not a dynasty. We are the United States of America, a country governed by Constitution. We follow the Constitution. And so law-abiding, peace-loving Americans are very, very concerned. June 14th is supposed to be an amazing day. Celebrate Flag Day. Celebrate the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. But you know what? The left-wing politicians are trying to spoil this amazing day by having these so-called No King's Day protests. Yes, they have the right to protest as long as it is peaceful. As long as it is peaceful. So my friends, that's all that I have for tonight. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so very much, my friends. I appreciate you all being here. I had a tremendously busy week, and so what I'm going to try to do is go. I'm going to try to get some nice sleep tonight. So I'm going to wrap up this live stream. But I hope the things that I said made sense to you. I hope the things that I said you have heard. Maybe you've agreed, maybe you've not. Maybe you disagree with what I said. That's okay. But thank you for paying attention. Thank you for listening. I appreciate that very, very much. And I'm going to end the live stream now, but I'm going to be back again with more videos and more live streams, okay? So, Shuri, it's good to see you. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. I apologize if I have not been able to greet you individually. I'm going to do that next time. Meg is here. Hello, Meg. Thank you so much. Joseph is here. Joseph, Richard, Human, everyone's here. Thank you so very much. Selena is here. My friends, thank you. Thank you so very much. Okay. Let's celebrate Flag Day. Let's think positive. And I'm looking forward to seeing the parade, the military parade that's going to be taking place on Flag Day, June 14th, because it's the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. So, my friends, thank you so very much. May God bless you all. May God bless President Donald J. Trump. May God bless the Trump administration. May God bless our Republican leaders in the House and the Senate. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless our U.S. allies. And may God bless freedom-loving people all over the world. Thank you so very much, my friends. I see a lot of my friends are tuning in now. Kristen's here from New York. Thank you. Thanks for being here. I'm going to wrap this up now, but I'll be back again very soon. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, my friends. Thank you so very much.